esteemed speakers. They are the best in their field. They will enlighten us. They will share their insight, what to do and what not to do. There is a sense of uncertainty and panic, but always the wise person, they guide us in the exact direction. Today we have with us Sri C.R. Janardana ji, Sri C. Ravinder Reddy ji, Sri B.S. Nagi ji, Sri Uday Dhote ji, and Sri B.N. Murthy ji. They are the best in India. They will be sharing their insights and thoughts. So, moving forward, our very first speaker is our own Sri C.R. Janardana sir. He has taken the charge as President of Federation of Karnataka Chambers of Commerce and Industry on June 19 for the year 2019 and 20. He is a mechanical engineer and has distinguished himself as an entrepreneur. He has begun his career by establishing Sri Venkateswara Printing Press way back in 1989. He is a well-known leader and a champion of the cause of the MSMEs for which he has worked during the past decades. He has served as president of KAIIA. He has served as the president of AIFMP, Karnataka State Printers Association, chairman of Printech Park Cluster. As president of FICCI, he is keen on implementing his ideas and drawing up a plan of action for the growth of the industry. Now, I would like to request Sri Janardana sir to share his insights among us. Janardana sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anjan Kumar. I am very grateful to Mr. Kamal Chopra ji and all the panelists who are with me today, starting from Ravindra Reddy and Uday Dhote, Nagi sir, yourself, and as well as B.N. Murthy. The very fact, I would like to congratulate Mr. Kamal Chopra ji for selecting a very good subject like financial management and MSME schemes during COVID-19. Is a very important subject. Most of the people, they are in a need of guidance at this juncture. And most of our payments are held up with customers, and jobs are on the machines which we could not complete, and orders have been started cancelling, and the laborers are not available. So we are in a pathetic condition. I'm of the opinion that government will come for the rescue of all of us, but unfortunately, we have made a lot of representation to the government, to the Prime Minister, Finance Minister, and Chief Minister of the state, on even including MSME Minister Nitin Gadkari ji. But all people are assuring only two classes of people. One is the poor class, another is labor class. They are not interested who are paying the taxes. They are not at all considering our requests. The present scenario is really pathetic, and we are not in a position to come out from this great difficulty. But we have to show strength, as Kamalji has in opening remarks, he has mentioned that we have to come out with a courage. Now, the things are, I would like to share with you first what I am, then I will come to the points. First, I will tell you that I was the president of All India Federation of Master Printers also, and president of Karnataka Small Scale Industries Association also. Presently, I am the president of Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where there are 12 lakhs traders and 6.5 lakhs industries are there in the entire zone, apart from the printers of 12,000 in Karnataka state. Here, there are 30 district chamber of commerces are affiliated, and also we have got 150 associations are affiliated to our organization. The organization was established in the year 1916. Today is 104 years. The founder president was Bharat Ratna Sir M. Visvesvaraya. The 104th year, I got the privilege of mentioning you that I met the Prime Minister because of Chamber of Commerce. He has given me an opportunity on 3rd January 2020 at Bangalore. And also I met the President of India on 13th of January 2020. And I apprised various issues pertaining to small scale industry. And I have explained the pathetic situation of small printers also, where NPA is they are giving within 90 days. I requested the Prime Minister to consider to the 180 days. Till that time, no NPA should be made. Now, at present, the schemes which are mentioned by Finance Minister is not helping in any way. And I have made a representation to the Labour Minister in Karnataka as well as Nitin Gadkari that whatever wages we are to pay in the month of April should be supported by ESI and Provident Fund. Provident Fund scheme not at all helping. Here, Finance Ministry says that only if there are 100 employees, out of which 90 employees are below 15,000, then only they are eligible. That scheme is not going to help any of the printer or any of the small scale industry. I have written to the ministry also explaining to relax the conditions. In the banks, most of the managers are not willing to give any money until the unit starts working. The units cannot work because only packaging units can work under the Essential Commodity Act. But non-essential commodity act, no printer can start within the corporation limits in Karnataka and most of the other parts of the India. Only have requested the government to permit MSME where there are 10 or 12 people or within 20 people, they will maintain the social distance as well as the mask coverage will be there and there won't be any problem and we will assure the government. But there was one Ministry of Home Affairs made a circular stating that proprietor is responsible if there is any coronavirus with the employees. That class we are objected and the Maharashtra government was good enough to come with a solution. They have withdrawn that Ministry of Home Affairs circular. And in Karnataka, we are also requesting the state government to remove that condition. I am of the opinion the schemes, CGTMSE scheme, what government has initiated is not helping because the 2% subvention charges are there. Because of that, we are not in a position to avail that CGTMSE scheme for availing loan. Where I have requested the Prime Minister to reduce the 1% and also to increase 2 crores. Now it has been up to 2 crores they have increased, but still the commission part is not reduced from 2%. Now I think there is a possibility that they will reduce to 1%. And the panelists who are specialists in today's scenario, they can definitely help in giving details. Yeah, as Kamal Chopra ji has said, I would like to inform most of the printers are 85% printers are in the small scale and uh, minor scale only. They cannot pay electrical payment and fixed charges. Though Punjab and Haryana government has withdrawn, and some of the Telangana and Hyderabad also withdrawn. In Karnataka, they are not withdrawn. They are forcing to pay fixed charges. That is really suicidal for the printing industry. Regarding salaries, we have made a submission to the government where people are drawing 15,000 rupees. They will going to get all the full payment, and above 15 to 50,000, they will get 50% of the salary which they were drawing, and above 50,000, no salary will be paid. They also should bear the problems of the industry. But government has not responded, even the central government. neither the central government nor the state government has responded, and we are in really sorry state of affair. We don't know. Apart from this, most of the people are on rental basis. As rightly said by Kamalji, 90% of the people are in rental places where rents are huge. We cannot bear the rents also, and we are requesting the rent people to postpone for a period of 3 months the rents, such that once we start functioning, then only we can make the rental payment. And we are making a lot of efforts to the government for permission to restart the work, and export units are really suffering. Lot of export LCs are already open. They are not in a position to honor the LCs because of the lockdown, and I am making a gallant effort to the state government and central government that those who are export oriented units, they should be permitted immediately. The main concern, even after opening, will be that raw materials are not in a position to get, and it has to be transported. We have made district transport associations meeting also. They have agreed to support essential and non-essential commodities to transport once the government gives the permission. I have spoken to the principal secretary of the transport, Mr. Gaurav Gupta. He has agreed to give that support, and I am of the confidence that once the industry starts from May 3rd, in all hopes, because we don't know what Prime Minister will take a decision. If at all it starts, we will get raw materials from various parts of the country, and we will run the industry. And I am confident that financial position of the MSME should improve. That will going to take place only after reopening of the industry. We are with optimism, and we will definitely work for the progress of the small scale industry. As Kamalji said rightly, we will support each and other, and we will definitely give our helping hand and to pull them out from the clutches of difficulty. And we will assure everyone will do in the printing line, and All India Federation of Master Printers are really great work they are doing. I am confident we will come out with the problems. With this, I am thankful to the organizers and Anjan Kumar for the excellent arrangement he has made, and permission he has given. Thank you very much, sir. I'll give replies when and where required. With this, I conclude. Once again, I'm thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Janardhan sir, for giving such a valuable information to all of us. Our very next speaker, C. Ravinder Reddy. He is an accomplished printer and has a rich and varied experience of about 35 years in this printing industry. Today, he owns Shravya Graphics, a renowned designing and printing press. Under his dynamic leadership as the president, Telangana Offset Printers Association has organized many prestigious events. He has also organized numerous seminars, knowledge upgradation workshops to benefit the printers of the region. He is holding the position of President TOPA and Vice President South of AYFMP at present. He has been awarded as the Best Social Service Award in 2015 by the Government of Telangana State for his dedication and involvement in social work. Now, I would like to request Sri C. Ravinder Reddy ji to share his thoughts. Over to Reddy Sahab.
Professor Kamalji, my feeling of regard for you and the appreciation of energy, focus, and organizing ability. Good morning, all panelists and registered participants, friends. I would like to thank Professor Anjan Kumarji for introducing me. I wish to share with you briefly the details of MSME schemes and their benefits to the printing community. There are about 7 schemes. 1. Credit guarantee scheme for micro and small enterprises. Collateral free credit to new and existing units up to maximum loan of 2 crores. 2. Credit Link Capital Subsidy Scheme for technology upgradation, 15% upfront capital subsidy, maximum of rupees 15 lakh on institutional finance for micro and small enterprises for induction of well-established and improved technology. This scheme provides 25% capital subsidy, subject to maximum of 25 lakhs for SC/SC units. 3. MSME, National Small Industries Corporation Schemes, marketing support. The public procurement program is framed for MSMEs. Every individual can get a share in the 25% tender segment. The tender is exempted from EMD. There are more schemes like credit under bank tie-up scheme, raw material on credit scheme, and bill discounting scheme. All printers should focus on it. 4. KVIC schemes for micro and small enterprises. Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program is implemented through KVIC, KVIB, and DIC. Loans are available to start up under the scheme, up to rupees 25 lakhs for manufacturing units and up to 10 lakhs for service units. The subsidy component is 25% for general category and urban areas, while it is 35% for rural areas and SC/SC and OBC category. 5. Cluster Development Program. For setting up a common facility center, the grant is restricted to 70% general category and 90% for micro, village, women-owned SC/SC units, with a maximum project cost of rupees 20 crores. Under this cluster development scheme, minimum of 20 members are needed, and they must share a minimum of rupees 2 crores, which is 10% of the project cost, and the government grant is 18 crores. 6. Lean manufacturing. MSME will assist in reducing their manufacturing costs by applying lean techniques to identify and eliminate waste and streamline the system. Financial support by the Government of India up to 80% of the consultancy fee, maximum 36 lakhs for each mini cluster will be provided. Remaining 20% is to be shared by the beneficiary MSME unit. 7. Shruti scheme for micro units. A quick outline of Shruti, which provides funds up to 5 crores, 10% of project cost to be shared by 300 members joined together. Our printers will do well to remember to review the schemes mentioned above during this lockdown period for possible adoption depending upon their needs and feasibility after the lockdown. There are some more useful practices that will be adopted by all our printers on a continuous basis to make us more competitive with the cost-effective, cost reduction and waste management techniques imparted to us through various schemes and training programs by the Ministry of MSME, Government of India, to their regional MSME development institutes. After the lockdown and after normalcy is restored in our printing industry, printers can think of following schemes and programs for their long-term benefits. Cluster Development Program, Shruti scheme, lean manufacturing, zero effect and zero defects certification, National Small Industries Corporation schemes. All printers should focus on it. Recently, as part of government efforts to find ways to support the MSME sector during and after the lockdown, Union Minister for MSME has conducted a review meeting of officials of his ministry and advised to review, upgrade and widen the scope of existing MSME schemes for the benefit of business units after the lockdown. He also advised them to ensure that moratorium announced by RBI on on the payment of interest and term loan installment reach the individual units by the time the lockdown is lifted. I have briefly explained the schemes, and anyone with doubts can ask me during the question and answer session. Thank you. Over to Professor Anjan Kumar ji.
Thank you, Reddy sir, for giving all the information regarding the schemes to be taken care by the MSME sector. Thank you, sir. Moving forward, our next speaker, Sri B.S. Nagiji. He is a diploma holder in textile, followed by AMI in textiles. He joined Punjab State Hosiery and Knitwear Development Corporation and then shifted to Ministry of SSI. Now it is MSME. He was with SSI till 2014, after which he joined the Department of DC MSME New Delhi as Assistant Director and took VRS in January 2017. Presently, he is working as Industrial Advisor Consultant with the DC MCME, Ministry of MSME, Ludhiana since July 2017. Now, I would like to request Sri B.S. Nagiji to share his insights related to MSME. Over to Nagi Sahab.
Thank you, Dr. Burak, for introducing me to all the panelists and all the participants. So, as Mr. Burak told, I was with the ministry since 1990. Before that, I'm working with the industry, local industry here, and then with the a UNDP project, which is the Punjab State Hosiery and Knitwear Development Corporation. So from the 27 year, I served the ministry MSME at different places at Calcutta, at Himachal, Punjab, and Delhi. So presently, as Mr. Broll told, I'm a advisor with the ministry and posted at Ludhiana. So I am thankful to Shri Kamal Chopra ji and Dr. Bral to giving me an opportunity to have an interaction with such a great personalities today. So Dr. Reddy has already explained many schemes of the MSME with you, but there are one important scheme which is very useful to the MSME is a 2% interest subvention scheme, which I think Mr. Reddy has left out. So all the MSME, those who are having GST number and the Udyog Aadhaar memorandum, they can avail this scheme. This is a very, in the present scenario, it is very important and very useful. And there are other schemes which are not directly beneficial to the printers, but the manufacturing of the printing machinery, they can avail that schemes. One of the scheme is a design clinic, in which ministry is providing 15 lakh to the participant of that scheme. He can having a MSME memorandum number with him, or they can join hands also with 3 or more persons. So in this scheme, 75% contribution will be given by the government and rest 25% by the participating unit. And other scheme is, that is very useful to Dr. Bral, you also, that is the incubation scheme. So your student can avail this scheme under your university. So in that scheme, 15 lakh per project for any incubator can avail this scheme, and 1 crore may for the machinery and equipment will be given to the institution in that in which that student may develop his ideas. So this is also very good scheme. So now today major problem is not the schemes. Major problem is now the how to run the industry. In that perception, there are some news that the ministry is going to create two funds, that is 10,000 crore each. One is for the funds for fund, that is the bill discounting, and other one is for the disaster management. So how it will work and how benefit will be given to the industry is yet to be come in front of us. As soon as we will get the information, we will definitely provide to the associations and the concerned industries. This is all rest. So anything you want to question, I may ready to answer. Thank you.
Nagisa, you have told many things. These are the scheme available since long, but now the problem is different. Problem is, since we are all belong to the MSME sector and whole of the country. I will talk about the printers only. Though every industry is same, but definitely I'm more concerned about the printers.
Yeah.
So how you are looking after the printer for well-being of the printers? Are your ministries going to give some package so that we may be able to pay the salaries or to pay? Actually, it is very difficult to even to run the house in these days. Whatever the liquidity we were having, that is already finished.
Professor, that I already told that two funds are being created, 10,000 crore each. One is for the funds for fund, that is I think it's for bill discounting, and other one is a disaster management fund. How it will work, it is not yet known, but it will definitely come by next week.
Sir, you are very close with the ministry. You are working in the ministry, and you are very close to the minister even. So please, you are here with us, and you will know the feeling of our MSMEs. They are feeling the crunch, and definitely it may be possible. They may not be able to open the presses once again. Again, there was a problem. 14 or 15% press is already closed. Nowadays with this crunch, many will have some financial support. Sir, please, our sentiments must be passed to the minister.
Ministry is very much concerned as a total GDP of the country is 28% contribution by the MSMEs.
Yes, sir.
48% export is from the MSME. There are 11 crore workers are with the MSME. So government is very much concerned about this, and definitely there will be some scheme you will definitely get within next week.
Thank you, sir. And we have one clarification I need. Somebody last time also asked us that is there any MSME scheme available for a lady entrepreneur 75 year age working as a proprietor? Is there any scheme for the ladies?
So all these schemes are open. There is no age limit.
There is no special scheme for the old ladies. I mean, there is a 75-year-old lady. She's a proprietor and wants to know if there is any special scheme available for the ladies.
Only thing is that in the marketing development scheme, there is a full participation fee is paid by the ministry to the woman entrepreneur. So similarly, there in banking sector also there are 0.5% to 0.75% less rate of interest is there for the women entrepreneurs.
Thank you, sir. That's a wonderful news for us. And so over to Dr. Baran for the next speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nagisa.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nagisa. So we are moving to the second part, that is the finance part, which is very crucial, and we are eagerly waiting to hear from both our speakers. Our next speaker is Sri Uday Dhoteji, a graduate from Podar College, Mumbai, and a chartered accountant. He is the go-to person in the industry for all matters related to finance and taxation. A past president of MMS, he has offered his expertise as the Honorable Treasurer to streamline the accounting process and of BMPA, MMS, MNP, and AIFMP. He has presented interesting reports, conducted workshops, and made representations to the government from the industry at all levels. He is currently Chairman Education and Training AIFMP, Chairman Finance and Taxation MMS, and Editor Print Bulletin. He is a Director Dhote Offset Technocrat Private Limited Mumbai. He has been instrumental in DOT's growth as a systems driven company. A third generation in family, he has an experience of more than 3 decades in the industry. Now, I would like to request Sri Uday Dhoteji to guide us in the present situation related to finance. Over to Dhote sir.
Good morning, everyone. Namaste. And thank you, Dr. Baral and Kamalji for holding this webinar. And good morning to esteemed panelists also. Hope everyone is fine and enjoying the lockdown with family. A printer has always been perpetually busy person and rarely getting family time. This is nature's way of offering you time. So take a chill, take a deep breath and cherish these moments because they are not going to come back. Take out time, think what good you have done as well as what mistakes you have done. And now focus on not repeating the same mistakes. Dig out all the past data, the clients served, the products done, projects which have earned good money, projects in which you have lost money. Think about the men employed, who is needed, who is not needed. Think about the machineries and the activities which you have, which are needed, which are not needed, etc. Nature has brought everyone at one level and be ready to press the reset button post-lockdown. Good financial management coupled with focused business, optimum productivity, standardization, innovation, working with controlled costs and minimum wastages is going to be key to success. So I've broken down my presentation in 2 parts. One is the uncontrollable, which is the macroeconomic factors, which I'm going to just touch upon, not into detail, but some things which we would like to know. Our global economy is going to shrink around 3% finally after the lockdown is over. Globally, there would be around 5 to 8% loss of working days in 2020. Advanced economies like US, Germany, Japan, UK, Italy, France, etc. would be minus 6%. Asia subcontinent fortunately would be having 1% growth, in which China would be contributing 1.2, Indonesia 0.5, and India around 1.9. Now these figures are based on certain estimated period of pandemic. If this stretches, then I don't know, we will again have fair estimates. Where India is lucky and has an advantage. Its domestic consumption is 59.1% of GDP, and adult literacy rate is expected to increase from 74% to 90% in 2020. Around 42% of our population is youngsters and children. So this is something to cheer about. Yes, during lockdown, all the businesses except maybe essentials are low because they're all ultimately interdependent. And I think there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel, but we have to be perseverant. After the lockdown, maybe some other industries will have more opportunities and thereby automatically creating more demand for print. This was just a macro overview. Many of the essential industries might come up, like PPE, masks, ventilators, sanitizers, apron, food items, clothing, manpower, training, especially training of skilled, training in healthcare. These industries would come up, and so would the demand for print. So let us be a little positive. Whereas also we will see what is in our hands and what can be controlled by us. I would go to this now. Control the controllables. All efforts must be made to improve the liquidity, because right now liquidity will be the king. There will be one survival plan, maybe for 90 days odd, or if this is extended, this would go to around 120 days and odd. And then the revival plan, which could be a medium term to long term. Financially feasible means, hello, okay. When you think of a short term plan, it has to be practicably executable and financially feasible. Now, financially feasible means the short-term plan of 90 days has to have cash profit. You cannot work with cash losses, because then you would be digging the grave deeper. We have to check all the overheads, which are the fixed costs, and see whether they are commensurate with the expected drop in sales. Now, sales are expected to drop a little bit till the time all gets into normalcy. So we have to see whether these overheads are commensurate, that is in proportion to our sales. Examine each one of them in detail. We will have to stop all the frills and fancies and decide which one of the expenses can be suspended or reduced. Let us not call this exercise as cost control. Instead, let us call it as being efficient. Now, let me take you through some important items of our profit and loss account. We think about sales. Follow up the payments from existing debtors, give discounts. Now, all these measures I'm telling you to increase, pump in more liquidity. Follow up for the payments from existing debtors, give discounts for promised payments. If the clients demand more credit, opt for upfront payment by offering discounts. You may ask the cash-rich existing clients for advance for the jobs of 2021. This, yes, it is a little difficult, but then there are always certain clients who have been the backbone of our company, and they might support you if they are a little cash-rich. Retaining regular clients will become difficult, so keep communicating with them on any pretext during this lockdown. There will be a downward trend in the sales. We have to keep looking on for newer opportunities and be prepared for these newer opportunities when the market opens up. Do not try to increase sales where payment is doubtful. It is better to scale down than to have bad debts. We move on to purchases, which is an important part of our expense. We can try to renegotiate the terms with vendors. Vendors of materials required for the new jobs may demand immediate payment. Push for good cash discounts in this stage. Control wastages. This is a very important thing. Control wastages by adopting good systems. Payment to existing vendors may become difficult. Be very selective. If immediate payment is insisted, ask for discounts and keep stocks under control. For power and electricity, switch off wherever not required. Scale down the departments or machines where utilization is not up to the mark, and be productive, be more productive. So we try to achieve more in less time by following proper processes. Now, this is a topic which is being discussed in almost all webinars, and many people are concerned about the salary and wages. I think the scheme should be this way. Take your employees into confidence and explain them the factual situation. If there is no business, there is no revenue, and losses incurred, therefore full salary cannot be possible. This idea has to be drilled into their head. The idea of paying ad hoc salaries, that is something like subsistence monies for the lockdown period, should be explored with the consent, obviously with the consent of the employees. You may also try to adjust the balance leave of the employees against lockdown leave with their permission. We can defer increments for this year. In fact, try to revise or reduce salaries for FY 2021. Try to negotiate the bonus percentage. At least convince the employees not to include the lockdown period in bonus calculation. Some other ideas to reduce the cost of labor could be cross-training of the workers. One worker could be used for 2-3 activities, reducing hours of work in some non-earning departments, and so similarly their salaries. Break up the salary into fixed and incentives. Instead of giving, for example, salesperson, instead of giving him a flat salary, you can break that salary, some portion of fixed element and another portion of incentive element. So your variable cost is there and a fixed cost reduces. You could think about stopping the carry forward of leave and encashment of that. Negotiate the rate of OT over time, or you may opt for a comp-off system. Regarding rent or license fees, as it is called in a leave and license, take your landlord or the licensor into confidence and negotiate rent for the period 2021 after lockdown, for the remaining period of FY 2021 after the lockdown. Use the force majeure clause in the agreement for rent payable during the lockdown period. And if this clause is not there, I'm given to understand that there is a doctrine of frustration which can be evoked under section 56 of the Contract Act. For the other direct expenses, we will have to step up the efficiency, or you can check up the alternative means and negotiate. For example, if there's some contract labor or something, they have to be more efficient. They have to produce more in the given time, or you could check some alternative contract laborers and negotiate with them. Indirect expenses, scrutinize, reduce, and eliminate wherever possible. Only those which are necessary have to be there. Interest has to be kept at a very optimum variable level. This depends on your bank exposure, which I'm going to discuss a little later. Sale of assets. This is the right time to think of selling the assets which are not in use. One thing is sure, there is not going to be any capital expenditure, at least in this year. In fact, you can sell unused or unwanted machines. I would even go to the extent of saying that you can sell them even if you have to sell it at scrap, because whatever money which is coming in could be pumped in for a more resourceful reason, for a reason which could benefit you more. So instead of just keeping those machines, idle and thinking that they may be useful someday, it's better to scrap them. Remember, we would be running with limited resources, everything, limited manpower, consumables, paper. There's a problem of raw material, getting raw material, etc. So therefore, you will have to be very selective in taking your assignments. The jobs which we take, we'll have to be very selective. And managing cash flow efficiently will be the only, I repeat, that will be the only key to survival, only key. Now going to the banks, which I'm sure Mr. Murthy will take you in detail, but just to give you a brief, a 3-tier system for this. The existing term loan which you have, you may ask for a moratorium. That everybody knows RBI has declared moratorium of EMIs from March to May 2020. If you have not done so far, this is only recommended if you require liquidity into your business, not otherwise. Once you are established after lockdown, you may also ask the remaining period of this existing term loan to be restructured to give you more space. So if there are 36 installments pending of my existing term loan, I may make a presentation to the bank and ask them to defer it for more 12 months so that, and restructure my EMI. I think more about this Mr. Murthy will tell us. Then you can also ask for an ad hoc limit. Some banks like State Bank of India has already issued a, you may need to ask for an ad hoc limit in the form of demand term loan, a demand term loan up to 15 to 20% of your existing working capital limit. This would be based on your existing securities. We will not be offering, the bank should be told that we will not be offering more securities. And I believe this should be for a period of at least 24 months, not 12 months. And this is basically why I recommend this, because this would cover the fixed expenses like overheads like rent, salaries, AMCs, insurance, etc. And that would be required. This would normally for the next 12 months, we have to budget what these fixed expenses would be, and that much amount we should be seeking like an ad hoc limit. Please, after when you also calculate the exposure of the bank, be sure that we are in your whatever planned budget or your business plan, wherever you make one, ensure that you don't fall into a debt trap. You can also think about enhancing your working capital limit. Now, since your debtors would be prolonged, and probably the fresh purchases will have to be made on immediate basis, your working capital requirements will need to be increased. Hence, there would be a need to ask your bank to have a relook at your working capital requirements. It may increase, you may increase, this can be done by increasing the age of debtors. Ask your bank to increase the age of debtors. So the bank must be considering maybe 90 days debtors. You could ask them to consider 120 days debtors for some time. And you may also ask the bank to reduce its own margin, maybe from 25% to 20%. So you could get a little extended working capital limit, which could be required for the raw materials and other cash expenses in your company. Kamalji, this is all from my side. I tried to, take each and every item, the major items of the profit and loss account, which all the presses would have, and just run down through this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for giving such a detailed inputs to us. Our next speaker, Sri P.N. Murthy, a highly accomplished retired top executive of a government bank working at various places as a head of zones. He was a lecturer at Andhra University before joining the banking sector. He was sent for training by Government of India to Asian Productivity Organization, Tokyo, Japan on international banking. Extensively traveled both in India and abroad, about 25 countries on both official and personal visits. He has won many prestigious awards in studies, including gold medals for being the university first, college first throughout. He has published extensively research papers on Indian and Japanese management and won best paper awards also. Presently, he is a professional management consultant and executive secretary of TOPA. Now it is over to Murthy. Kindly enlighten us uh, related to the finance. Murthy sir.
Respected Baralji, thank you very much, sir, for sharing that is embarrassing. I don't require any introduction like that. And respected learned panelists, dynamic senior leader and chief moderator of this webinar, Sri Kamalji. We all know that he is very, very active always. And our present day coordinator and moderator, Baralji, and experienced printers and knowledgeable other participant friends. So I am indeed overwhelmed by the presence of this galaxy of industry professionals, but the situation posed by the virus crisis demands the pooling together of so many personalities for a brainstorming session. I certainly deem this as a brainstorming session because the whole industry is suffering. Coming to our topic today, I used to share some of my views and thoughts as I have been on both sides of the fence with a ringside view. I was earlier in top management in a central government bank and now as a consultant in a printers organization. But another thing I would like to tell you is I hail from a very, very celebrated printing family, right from my birth. So that is how I am close to the printing industry also. So coming to the financial management, Udayji has given the various aspects of our profit and loss and the effect on the balance sheet. I will go into more practical aspects of those things and the things that are available to the printers today in the country. So as such, the financial management is always important and needed, whether you are in boom, normal, recessionary, or an abnormal virus crisis like this. But in a survival situation, not only financial management, but also government support are a must in a big way and very fast. I certainly feel that the present situation, known unprecedented in recent memory, is unique because it is not case of an industry or a couple of industries doing bad, but the economy of the country itself is in recession or in slow growth mode. So it takes a lot of time to recover and come back to normalcy. We will be very lucky if we can attain a semblance of normalcy in just 1 year. But this requires serious preparation and application by all of us. We all know that the central government and RBI have come up with some measures like moratorium on interest and loan installments, delaying NPA classification, increasing liquidity position for banks to help the businesses. While we are on this subject, I feel the steps taken by national bodies like FICCI, CII, and ASSOCHAM and many others are very laudable. They are doing their best, but just representing to the government for the release of economic stimulus packages to industry in tune with the other advanced countries which have already done it will not suffice. The inside information I can share with you is it is always better to follow up and be after them. Then only things will move, both in banking as well as in government. They have also asked for reduction in repo rate and cash reserve ratio of 0.5% to 1% maybe. That will increase the sufficient liquidity position and availability of cheaper funds. So central government announced already, because we are on this subject now on the liquidity. So they have already announced a package of 1,70,000 crores to save the hard-hit MSME sector. But how they are going to do it, they have not yet come up with. And added to that, RBI has already permitted 1 lakh crores as targeted repo for banks to improve liquidity. RBI also advised banks to keep 60,000 crores for loans for sanctions to the industry. So these are all the liquidity position standing available to the industry. But just by, I can only share an analogy here. We are like the lake. We require a lot of fund at this juncture, and the government and RBI has taken the banks to the pond. To make them drink is entirely a different problem. So, as others have also shared, bankers have to have a positive view, and they should not be averse to risk-taking and conservative approach. The role they have to play is very, very important, and to my knowledge, things will not move at the branch level unless and until force is coming from the higher levels. So this is a must. Wherever possible, associations also have to intervene, including national bodies like FICCI and CII. At the highest levels of the banks, we have to complain. There is no other go, then only things will move. There is one thing they are afraid of, which is complaint. So at the highest levels of the management and the banks, they will definitely move the lower levels only with some pressure and force. For that, we must follow up. And coming to State Bank of India, they have extended the one-time settlement scheme, as Uday Saab was telling earlier. So whenever you are trying to sell some assets, so you will be able to repay your loans. So for that, sometimes you may have to enter into one-time settlements, which will give you some benefits. So State Bank of India, with that view, where some big businesses are willing to sell their assets and settle their accounts, they will be able to take advantage of this one-time settlement scheme, which they have extended from 31st March to June 30th. And secondly, national bodies also asked for another important waiver, that is more than 5% of foreclosure charges, where businesses are willing to foreclose their accounts. There will be usually a charge of foreclosure charge, which is more than 5%. So that will be a heavy expenditure in a situation like that. So for that also, they have already asked, and we have to follow it up and see that more than 5% foreclosure charges are waived totally, so that people can close their accounts. And coming to the liquidity, all these are available in the marketplace, but only thing is they should be availed by the printers when it is required only. As Jyote Saab also has emphasized just now, unless and until you require it, you don't go for it. So, but the facilities, they are called soft loans or ad hoc loans, or in the shape of demand loans, which can be enhancement in working capital or overdrafts, advance against receivables, which is, I think, going to be an important thing, because many of us have got receivables. So advance against receivables also can be a useful facility now. And rescheduling and restructuring of loans wherever necessary and possible. See, where you are not trying to get into a situation where you are taking more loan and the bankers are not willing to extend the repayment period, you will end up with payment of more EMIs. To save that situation, as he has already pointed out in his banking efforts, we should go for rescheduling or restructuring of loan accounts, where, as you said, instead of going for 36 installments, you will be preferring to go for 50 installments. So depending upon your need and also your ability to repay. So these are all the things that are involved with the banks. And coming to the final aspect, whether we should go for these liquidity requirements to be satisfied at this juncture. It all depends upon case-to-case basis. Banks also deal with case-to-case. You will have to go to the bank and try to convince them with your plans, with your estimates, and with your past performance and credit history. Banks at the branch level will go by all these things. They will not be able to give you just like that whatever the government is telling high above. So we will have to convince them with these things, and usually the bank will be able to support us if we are able to show them the real credit history and also our repayment capacity. So after all these things, what I suggest is, it is your decision to go for the bank when the soft loans are available and whether they really serve your purpose. As has already been told by so many people, let us not get into a debt trap. While liquidity crunch is definitely prevalent in the marketplace for everybody. We should not fall prey to the death trap. Let us assess the situation properly, and where it is needed, definitely we will go to the bank and ask for the soft loan or whatever other facility that is possible in the circumstances. So what I would like to suggest at the end of it is, must do after lockdown and even now also is meet your banker and explain your position and strategy and ask for support with details. Second one, invariably contact all your customers to inform that you are back to work and at their service as usual. Third one, which I think is important in this present situation, which is unprecedented, do a SWOT analysis. Know your strengths, weaknesses, objectives, and your tasks. Do a SWOT analysis. This is high time that we should do it, and plan your future strategy. And fourth one is, think of cost cutting and cost reduction and waste management techniques wherever is possible. There are also schemes like lean management and all those were in theory. Now this is the time to apply all those things to practice. So the last but not the least is, take care of your staff as much as possible, but share with them whatever the feelings of you as an industry and how to run it on a daily basis. So coming to the most important aspect, I feel is, yesterday also in the webinar, many people were talking about the future of the printing industry. So I wish to say that I am a staunch, pardon, so I just want to share this, that the Muhurat time of John Gutenberg, who has started the first printing press, is so great that it is linked to the human history. There is no end to the printing industry. Let us not worry about the growth of the printing industry. Printing industry is perennial. Let us not worry about it. So I sincerely feel that the present situation, though it is very critical and unprecedented, it definitely does not take away our enthusiasm and also our effort to do better. We have certainly come across so many ups and downs, but we have faced many challenges and come out successfully. I have full faith that all of us will be able to come out of this situation with flying colors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now it is over to Kamalji, because
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor. And I have invited many of our friends, our federation friend. Dayakar sir is there. He's from Ipama. Satish Malhotra, Subhash ji, Ashwini ji, Venugopal ji, Tushar bhai. You can online come online. Yeah, Tushar bhai is there. Govind Bhargava, Tirthraj Joshi, Surendra Dhote. So many people from All India Federation there. It has become a grand platform now. So just to say hello to all, and before moving to the question and answer, I will like that everybody from you must speak. Subhaji, Mr. Subhash Chandra,
thank you, Mr. Kamal Chopra, Mr. Baral, and all the panelists covered all the points and problem in this webinar. I am thankful to Mr. C.R. Janardhan, Uday Dhote, Ravinder Reddy, Mr. Murthy and Nagi, who has covered all the points in this webinar. Thank you very much.
Ashwini ji, you're next. After that, Mr.
Sir.
Venugopal. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a very nice webinar today, and Mr. Uday Dutta has given very elaborate, detailed financial aspects relating to our industry. Yeah.
Venugopal, sir. Mr. O. Venugopal.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, sir.
No, it is one of the wonderful webinar, because this is the need of the hour, I think so. And especially Uday Dhote, he had clearly mentioned what should we do after this COVID. We can take it 2 sessions, before COVID and after COVID. This will be a memorable event. I think the COVID has gave us a lot of things to rethink what we are and what we are going to do. Anyhow, this presentation is highly informative, And thank you, Kamalji, for your well organizing this seminar.
Thank you, sir. We have Steve G, our former president. Steve G, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. All my friends and fellow printers from my All India Federation. Well, I think we are having a very meaningful seminar where all these speakers have very articulated, enumerated all what we need to do in this current times. When we need to be thrifty, we need to be saving funds, doing better financial management, and making use of all these schemes. In my parlance with various printers, I have seen very few printers end up using these schemes. Wherein, if you spend a little time, they are very beneficial. So I think today's effort has put this on priority, and printers will really benefit and try to make use of these schemes.
Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Tushar bhai.
Kamalji, first of all, I would like to know you're doing a wonderful job. आपके सब seminars तो नहीं attend कर पाया, but this one particularly on financial management and MSME schemes, what a great insight for all the attendees. We could also guess Mr. Janardana, who spoke very well on his experience, and others have also spoken very well. And Uday has given a wonderful presentation on how actually post-COVID, all printers should react. So it would be very nice if we can share the presentation to whatever number of attendees on today's day, so that it becomes useful for them. It becomes a ready reckoner. I mean, they can ask him directly also through his mail or phone number. Any future.
Anybody can ask direct number. In the meantime, we are also recording it, and we will share the recordings to all the GC member, all the printers.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Datta Barua, sir. We have with us Mr. Raghunath Datta Barua from Guwahati.
Good afternoon. I really enjoyed the entire discussion that was going on. I thank you to all for the very useful insights. Kamalji for organizing this. I'm sure this will come in a lot of help for all the printers all across the country. Not only printers, even I believe other industries will also be helped by the financial insights that's been provided. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. And Tirthraj Joshi.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks you all panelists for giving valuable information, and thanks once again to Mr. Kamal Chopra sir for giving arranging this seminar. I request Reddy sir and Uday Dhote sir, can you please share that MSME schemes and your slide?
Sir, you can write on there, write on the WeChat. They have given the detail. They will share, no problem. And Nagi sir will also share. Dakar bhai. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I'd like to call Dakar, who is the president of Mama. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. All the panelists spoke really well because everybody has given their knowledges, like Janardana ji as a prospect of micro and trading segment from entire Karnataka. And Ravindra Reddy has spoke very well about schemes because he has been reduced the job of Negi sir. And Mr. Dhote, of course, as usually, is always a chartered account. So he always look into where you can save and how you can improve your profits. And Murthy ji, yes, definitely, since he is one of the top management in Andhra Bank, so he has also spoken very well. So I will also request, like Satish ji, all the printers has to definitely, government made all these schemes to entrepreneurs only. So as Satish ji said, I also know not even 1% of our printing fraternity will utilize these schemes. So every printer has to look into these schemes. This is possible by only the association. Their respectable district, state, or national association has to take into those members. Because, I was also realized when we went to Amritsar with our 80 members in Amritsar, not even 2 members of our manufacturer members have been utilizing any MSME. So it has to be taken into by associations like us. We have to take it into the grass level, all the small sector, medium sector, everybody, then let them utilize all these schemes. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. And Kamlesh bhai?
For giving me the opportunity, and I thank all the panelists for sharing their views. My simple reasoning is as Zakar Reddy ji said, that we have to reach to the common printer to avail all the facilities that are being dished out by the government. Unfortunately, a printing industry has not been really able to grab the opportunities what MSME has.
Sir, now we are on the question answer. Our president has given a question that my simple question, financial hardship already started and going on during lockdown period. My point of view, future, how we can handle it if it is unpredictable. Uday sir, can you tell us?
So I cannot predict the lockdown period, sir. So what you can be is, that's what, there is one side of being a little sentimental for the workers. Even I wish to pay my workers full salary. And such things, whatever expenses you can curtail, you need to create a war chest. Do not spend, if I get 1 lakh rupees, I have to keep some 20-25% in the war chest, because you really don't know when you will need it. So my humble submission is that keep your sentiments on one side, and you have to be practical. You have to survive these 90 or 120 odd days, and you need to plan your cash reserves accordingly. Do not spend in a haste. Take time, think about it. And for the time being, if you do not have liquidity, family, friends, yes, of course, look at your investments which could be liquidated and go to your bank. Banks are working with minimal staff, yes, but they are working. Put up a proposal, make your papers ready. As Mr. Murthy said, start making your papers ready. At least you could ask for the ad hoc loan, for the time being. They may not give you for a period of 12 months or 24 months, as I said, but they definitely will give you for 3 months. So ad hoc loan, insist on an ad hoc loan, at least for the time being, which is 10 to 15%. If you have not availed of any overdraft or a cash credit facility, you can ask for one. Nowadays, they are not insisting on all the papers. Even a digitally sent paper is being accepted. So push your bank. You'll need to push them. They would not do things lying over there. As Mr. Murthy rightly said, you'll have to push them. See, RBI has given them a guidelines. RBI has also given them a guidelines of reducing 75 basis points. On the basis of that, even interest should be reduced, but which is not yet implemented. RBI has also reduced the reverse repo rate, which has made them more liquid. They have more cash in their hands because they need to keep less reserves with the RBI. So they are flushed with funds. Now the question is whether they would use these funds for MSME or not. That is a question which we need to, as associations and as government, has to push this. And we have to go to the higher ups. If your branch is over here, you will have to write, when you're writing your mail, you will have to write to the CEO of the bank or director of the bank. Also, you'll have to keep them in loop. And I'm sure I have done that way, and I'm sure you will get help. Thank you.
Thank you, Davai. Actually, I think every question is relating to the finance. We have one question from Mr. Nirmal Goyal, who is the president of Jaipur Printer Association. He said, we are already facing crisis in press line. Anyhow, we were running our unit on no profit, no loss basis. After the lockdown, it seems that we may have to face the challenges like less order, labor crisis, because many persons have left the city. Payment recovery of old bills, how to accept work on cash payment basis, which seems difficult to make balance between receipt and expenditure. How the press can run smoothly after this COVID is over.
Right now, can you do anything? No, you can't do anything. You can just think. I think you have to use this opportunity for your best interest. In fact, it is a God-given time for you to think. If you're saying that you were already no profit, no loss, that means I'm assuming that you were just on the verge of breaking even. You are not doing good profit till now. Then you have to think what mistakes you are making by which you are not making profit. See, you have to come out of the shoes of a printer and start thinking as a promoter of the company, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. You are just not a printer. I don't know why we call ourselves printers. We should start calling ourselves businessmen. And if a businessman is not making profit, I'm talking about the pre-lockdown period which you have defined. If you are not making a profit, there is something wrong. You have a good time now, God-given time to analyze why you were not making profit and eliminate those expenses. And when you come back, you have to bounce back. I think you have to take this time positively. Thank you.
Any other panelists want to take, they can also take. Now, the similar question is there. I think this question I will have to take jointly because it is just like similar. These rainbow printers, their question is paper cost may increase, rolling money has been stopped, clients may demand credit and suppliers will require payment, unavoidable overhead, for example, office rent, staff payment, how to tackle the situation?
See, that's why I'm talking about creating a war chest. I'm sure vendors are not going to give more credit, or maybe they would demand immediate payment for the new jobs. And similarly, you also think about the credit which you are offering to your clients. Perhaps where you were offering 90 days, now you come down to 30 days. Where you were offering 30 days, come down to immediate payment. Offer them 5%, 7% discounts. That would be better. You need more liquidity to be pumped in. That's all. Liquidity at any cost. Otherwise, you will not. And for the paper rates or plate rates or other consumable rates, what you could do is you could form a consortium with a few printers, 10, 12 printers, like-minded printers, and pursue. You could keep some of them on a panel of vendors and propose a rate in consortium. So if the demand, if we take out the demand of 1 quarter of these 10, 12 printers and then approach a few vendors, probably they will offer you more discounts. See, what I have told you is that your short-term plan should not have any cash negative. No cash negative, because cash negative means again putting on from your pocket. Already when you're facing liquidity crisis and you go into deeper liquidity problems, that means you will become extinct before the lockdown period is over. You have to survive the lockdown period at any cost. Now, every individual's perspective, every individual's balance sheet at particular point of time is different. So I cannot tell you in detail, but you have to introspect.
Sir, we have 2 questions. I think this can be answered by even the account panel, Nagi sir, Janardhan sir, or any other person. You also can, sir. They say Vilas Sundekar and Amarjot Arora, Jagdish Vora, 3%, but questions are similar. One question is that, my question is there any law to pay full salary to employees for the month of April? And similar question is, I feel everybody will be realizing that we are the only person who are realizing that the printer do not have the money to pay to the employees. What is to be done? And third is, I feel everybody will have been facing the same problem as the Punjab printer are facing. As you pointed that in this critical time, everyone is in trouble, and it's difficult to give the salary, electricity bill, etc. What can be done? So I think these are the 3 similar questions. Anybody would like to take up?
The first one, whether it is compulsory, mandatory to pay the salaries. I think the disaster.
Just I want to share a file before you say about it, because I think we have something on it. It's a case by one of the Ludhiana-based association. It's a case is in the Supreme Court. Yes, they say the government has the case is that government cannot enforce the decision for full payment to an industrialist.
And this is against the Article 14 and 19 of Constitution, sir.
That is so why this case is already there, and for this, I have another one also with me. That is this. This is another case. This is a Sanjeev M. Reddy, Advocate General, Supreme Court, India. He has filed the case, 100 pages, so may not be possible to read it here, all the things. So the thing is, the question now with you, in the light of these cases, Steve, you can, Steve also there. After you, I will ask the speech because he is in the government relation. After you, he can also elaborate. Yeah.
Sir, why there is, I understand why there is panic. It is because of the 27th March circular under the DMA Act. The Disaster Management Act 2005. But I think that is more on advisory nature. And if I do not have funds, if there is no business, there is no revenue, I do not have funds, from where I'm going to, it is a pure and simple logic. So you have to save funds. And what I'm saying is pay ad hoc, pay something with which, these guys can at least during the lockdown period, survive. We are also surviving. Everybody is trying to survive. So it's not that one day we only vanish and only the workers survive. ऐसा तो situation नहीं आ सकता. So we have to manage between these. Amidst so much work of the COVID, why are they taking this work so seriously in the courts? See, we have to be given some leverage as employers of MSME and as an employment generation of, I understand, 11 crores or something, which Mr. Negi told us. I mean, we have to be given some leverage, some breather. We have also stopped our factories all of a sudden on Monday and come home. We some arrangements of funds which could have been made have not been made. So I'm sure these logics would not, and it is going against the constitutional rights 14 and 19. So
Yes,
I think we have a case. I've read these petitions of Supreme Court quite in detail, and
That's
I
good.
think we have a case. We need not worry about it.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Kamalji, the same thing happened in Ludhiana also. Your DC has filed FIR against the industrialists, and on the next day,
Definitely. That is over. FIR was withdrawn next day.
and after that they said it's an advisory.
Yes. Stevie, you want to say something? Stevie is in the government relation. Maybe if he has some idea.
Friends, see, the fear which we all are having is because under the Disaster Management Act, the government has come out with a directive saying that we should continue paying these the salary and wages. So some lawyers or some people interpret it that since this act is prevalent, it is the law of the land, and thus it implies that there is legal force in asking us to go ahead and pay this salary, whereas a lot of opinion from the industry also lies that the government's act of coming with such kind of a directive is somewhat ultra vires the act. The act does not require to make such kind of directives, and there is a very fit case for it being not being upheld in the court of law. We understand. Even yesterday, I was in touch with some lawyers. There are some companies. There is a textile company which has filed a case in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has even heard the case, and they have not yet given their verdict. The verdict could be expected in a day or two. So you see, so what I really want to tell you, by the court, by withholding the verdict, is not giving us the relief as we are wanting. The court is also interpreting that in this special circumstances of the disaster, they are not wanting to interfere in the functioning of the work. But I personally feel the problem of paying salaries has to be taken partly in the legal aspect and partly in our moral and social aspect also. Because all these workers are also a part of our family, and we have to continue with them in future. If today we try to take a confrontationist attitude, if today our members decide not to pay the salaries, we will be entering into a confrontation. So sir, my at this time, my recommendation under these circumstances would be that to the best of your capability, talk to your labor and pay them partly or in whatsoever amicable manner you can do so. See, the government is also, we were talking to some ministry officials, the government also realizes that there is a small possibility that the government may be coming up with a relief package before the date we are required to give the salary, and there may be some kind of a concession given. So the matter is fluid, but at the same time, I don't think the government is really, see, the government in their own, for the government officers and their own ministries, they are making, they are reducing their salaries. So, I mean, if the government is doing for themselves, with what moral or legal authority are they going to impinge upon us? So, at this time, we should also try and sit with our workers, let them understand the problem we are undergoing, and we try to come to a middle path wherein we may start paying them partly, and we may partly pay them some money, which we ask them maybe treated as a kind of advance, which tomorrow can be adjusted against their overtime or such innovative schemes. So I think it is a time that we should look for some reconciliation and keep the workers in our fold, because in the better time, it is with the workers and the conduciveness with the workers we are going to manage our businesses.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What Uday suggested, and we got some suggestion from Pune also. Uday suggested for the purchase, and we have a suggestion from Mr. Tirthraj Joshi from Pune.
As Uday said, we can purchase when you buy bulk purchase. Now, there is a one model we are running from since 10 years. Bulk buying, ink bulk buying. Now, so we can get better discount and we can offload to the customers also for that, and you will get the benefit of that. So bulk buying is the best example and model to run with that. I think so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now we have the questions about MSME, finance question. These are the five. There is a delayed payment act. So again, sir, again, there is a law for the delayed payment. We know. Here, question is somewhat different. They got the purchase order. They made the thing ready, but during this lockdown, time lapsed, and company didn't. They are not picking up the material, and the payment is hold. Is there any law for that?
No, it is first time I'm hearing this, but we have to explore this.
Yeah, please, sir. It is Blue Chip Packer. I think on your WeChat also.
Okay.
Sir, the other question is from Hyderabad.
Yeah.
They say, my question is, can we give? It's a different type of question. Can we give representation to government for supporting all industries, giving credit to their account directly on the basis of GST filed or their turnover, and will be repaid after 6 to 12. This is a question from Mahendra Prasad, Hyderabad. They say, can we give a representation to the government for supporting all industries, giving credit to their accounts, or not here, I think he made clients directly on the basis of the GST file. He says that we are giving credit to the our clients, and we have filed the GST from the GST money. Can on the basis of turnover, basis of GST file.
If they have not taken any facility from bank, they can have a bill discounting.
Yeah, regarding bill discounting, there's a question.
Or even on the basis of the turnover, they can get working capital limits. So these two products they can have.
They can have. What is bill discounting? There's a question for bill discounting also.
Yeah. Thing is such, when there is a time lag between your production and the payment forthcoming, you can go for a bill discounting limit. If your banker is convinced, he can sanction you a bill discounting limit with the tenor of whatever is the period that you feel there is a gap for production and receiving of the payment.
So how to apply for the bill discount?
No, you will have to go with your production this thing, and then say how many days the payment is coming, and then how to bridge the gap. So for that you can discount a bill.
Okay.
Yeah, bank will give you the limit, no problem. They will give a limit to that.
Thanks, sir.
It has to be a reputed company. He will have to define his TAT time, the turnover time, and the credit period defined in the purchase order.
Yeah.
On the basis of that, they will ask for some basic papers like the current balance sheet and the projection and some projections.
Thank you, sir. Reddy, sir, there is a question again for you. Since Mr. Nagi is not there, this is a Kamlesh, our Kamlesh Dagalkar. He say, as you know, that we are getting loan or subsidy against the new machinery. He said whether DIC can sanction loan against the machinery already installed by the MSME member with a minimum interest or working capital, like anything. Is it possible?
Sorry?
Sir, can there be a loan against the installed machinery?
I don't think. But
a loan?
No, DIC. He is talking about the loan. Bank loan is there, I know, but he is talking about the DIC. Whether DIC can sanction loan against machinery installed by the MSME member with minimum rate of interest to tide over the working capital.
Is he asking about loan, or is he asking about the incentive, which already he has taken a loan?
He is taking a loan. Whether DIC can sanction loan?
Yes, sir. They can sanction. The capital goods loan also is there with the National Small Industries Corporation through bank. Through bank they'll give. But again, same process. But they have special funds for MSME.
Okay.
Exactly. That is what I'm trying to,
Kamlesh is here. You can ask that. Yeah, Kamlesh, sir.
if a person has already purchased a machine, he may not be taking a loan, a small person, and if he's got that machinery installed at his end, so to cover the current situation of working capital, can he approach the DIC or the MSME and get some loan?
Reddy sir, refinance होगा क्या पूछ रहा है?
हाँ, refinance on the machine.
No,
On the machine already is, sir. No, I don't
for
think so.
refinance. No scheme for refinance.
I'm not saying those who have already been financed by the bank. It's not refinance. It is.
But yeah, no, sir. You have already purchased the machinery. You already install in your presses. This is called refinance. It is.
Chopra ji.
Nagi sahab, please.
There is no scheme with the DIC to or MSME to directly finance any MSME.
Okay. There is no scheme. DIC don't have any scheme, sir. Good, sir. Nagi sahab, aapki wait ho rahi hai. Nagi sahab, we have a question for you. Nagi sahab, you will please give the detail of the scheme and write it written format. Okay, the people can request on the WeChat, not WeChat, the chat box here. He will be supplying. What about the date-bound orders lying completed and no use of the customers will not pick up? Do we get the some compulsion from the government? It is a similar question as earlier was asked. The entrepreneurs say that we have lying some finished good with us, and the customer is not picking. Can government will give some compensation? Nagi sahab?
Sir, before I told that the one scheme is going for funds. Okay. If it comes, actually I don't know the detail yet. When it comes, it will. We can give information on that.
Okay, Aman sir, you can contact Nagi sir directly, and you can put his details are given in the chat. You can contact him directly, so he may be able to helpful.
And I am given the website of the DC MSME. Anybody wants to go through the scheme, he may directly visit there.
So I think we don't have any other. If anybody wants to ask any other question or any panelists want to say something.
Yes, sir. For Negi Saab and for Reddy Saab, when I asked about the refinancing, it's not possible. But there are people who have not taken the subsidy or not received subsidy.
Capital subsidy.
Yes.
CLCS.
Yeah, you can apply. They are extending this capital subsidy scheme. Okay. Actually, up to 15th March it was there. Now they are extending. After lockdown, you can apply.
Can they expedite the matter and sort of release this thing as soon as possible?
Like sir, is there any possibility of extending CLCSS?
Yeah, we are hoping so.
Hope, not sure.
Not when it comes only then we can show.
No. They said after lockdown you can apply.
So I think anybody wants to say anything? Anybody wants to add anything?
Sir, I have a suggestion regarding the payment of wages to the workers. Can they not pay for the loss of man hours that these our workers have been doing? Can they play a role?
Kamlesh, this proposal is already under consideration.
Okay.
It is already under.
And second, like the government having 2,000 rupees to the construction workers, can AFMP make a plea for that this can also be adopted to our industry?
Sir, AFMP President Secretary is not here. We can just pass the recording to them. That's
we'll pass your question, and we are conducting survey, sir. By 25th of this month, we are getting complete report. A TOPA Center of Excellency, a project cost of 2.7 crores. We'll have TOPA office in the auditorium, conference hall, research lab, specialized demo equipment in the seminar hall. This Advanced Skill Development Center will ensure continuous supply of skill and semi-skilled employees and practical training for to the students of printing technology for better employment opportunities.
Great, sir.
And TOPA, the packaging cluster, will establishing at same place the project cost of 20 crores under cluster development.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Topa is going to achieve top level.
Sorry?
Topa, TOP, top. Topa is top. TOP is top.
The installation of Mr.
So,
Kamal.
Uday bhai, thank you very much. You shared a very, I think it was very informative and every
Welcome,
attendees
sir.
appreciating. Attendees are very much appreciating that. I'm getting on WeChat, you can see on the chat, people are appreciating. Every panelist must share their contact details on the chat so that people wish to contact and Murthy, please give your, Murthy,
Thank you, Uday ji.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you very much.
everybody.
Very nice,
Thank you
very
very much.
nice webinar.
And
Kamalji, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Namaste.
Kamalji, nobody is out of your net, either in India or abroad.